guys, it's Donna with Resale Tips and Tales, and today I bring you eBay's Spring Update. Alright, so I just got this in my email, so I thought I would share it with you guys, the 2020 eBay Spring Update. And as always, they have lots of information to share that you should be aware of. If you are not getting the emails from eBay, please make sure you go into your seller hub and sign up for the eBay's emails or messages. You might have even gotten it in your internal eBay messaging system. I'm just going to hit the hot spots in this update, and then you really need to go back and make sure you read over the details because I don't want to bore you with just reading all the details. But they kind of hit on 6 main topics in this update. They're going to talk about updates to how you list, updates to how you ship, updates to how you promote, updates to how you service customers, updates to how you manage your financials, and updates to your user agreement. So the user agreement was a separate email, and I'm not going to go into that in detail because it's a lot of legal language. But the ideas that they hit on that one really quick is eBay intends to manage payments for more sellers in more markets in the near future, which we're going to get into in the other sections. Clarification of which user agreement applies when you buy or sell in other countries. And also know when we hold or restrict seller funds. So make sure you click on that email as well because it has a link to all the legal language if you really want some bedtime reading. I would suggest going back and checking that out. So let's go ahead and dive in real quick. We're going to go through each section and what eBay wants you to know. All right, so updates to how you list. What you need to know. These are the general topics. Category classification changes to help buyers find your items, which eBay's been working on over the last few years. They've had a couple glitches if you haven't seen my other videos, so hopefully they don't have that again, but make sure you stay up to date on that. Item-specific updates for better search results. As you all know, eBay has a lot of item specifics, and the more you fill in, the better you're on. New item-specific features on the active listing page in Seller Hub. New multi-user account access permission, read-only order access. Volume pricing for non-eBay store sellers, remove backgrounds from your item photos instantly, and the new Terapeak features in Seller Hub and Terapeak.com deactivation. So what does all of that mean? So let's go ahead and dive in. I'm not trying to bore you guys. This is just an information only, but I would love to hear all of your feedback in the comments. So as I go through the sections, leave me some notes below. If you have questions, feel free to ask. I'm not the expert, but I will try to find the answers for you. All right, so the first thing they talk about here is new category changes to help the buyers find your items. So the areas, and we talked about this in the fall update, the last video that I did, and it says starting in May 2020, there are changes in the following categories, including additions, removals, and renames that'll go into effect. Those categories are business and industrial, watches, home and garden, and sporting goods. So if you have any listings in those areas, make sure you go check them out. Make sure all your categories are correct for those items. If you listed an item in one of the affected categories and your listing is impacted by the changes, eBay will automatically move your listing to the most relevant category. So make sure you are the one that selects that category, not eBay. As a result of the changes in the category structure, if your listing is moved to a different category, you may experience a change in the fees. So another reason to stay on top of that. Also, make sure you list your items in best fit categories is what it's saying. We encourage you to review your listings to make sure they are located in the best fit category. And it goes into a whole lot more detail. So, like I said before, make sure you print this out or at least read over it and be familiar with it. Item specifics required to publish your listings. So we're continuing to make it easier for buyers to find your listings on and off eBay by providing you with targeted guidance with item specifics. I know, eBay gets kind of obsessed with this, but I do feel like it's a good thing for buyers because they can really narrow down and filter what they're looking for. Just don't get filtered out. So make sure that you put in whatever details that you possibly can about your item so you can be found. Item specific describe the item you are selling, such as the brand, model, make, size, color, style. The more data you give us about what you're selling, the better chances basically that you'll sell your item. So. Sorry, that's one of the downfalls to eBay if you ask me. You go into Poshmark, it's so simple, you just hit a couple things, but again, maybe your sales aren't as good on Poshmark. I don't know. So the next thing here is new item specific features overview. Find and update missing item specifics in your listings with new features in the Seller Hub. If you don't currently use the Seller Hub, you really need to look in using that because it really has it's advanced a lot. It gives you a lot more information than it used to, including this item right here. So it's going to tell you specifically which item specifics you're missing. So that way your listings don't go deleted, they don't go missing, the buyers can still find you. If your listings are missing required item specifics, you can now quickly find and update them with 2 new features in the Seller Hub, a new tasks feature and a quick filter. The new task feature and quick filter will be updated as we introduce new item specific requirements. So you can view missing item specifics in the task module, goes over a little more detail here, and use the new quick filter to view and add missing item specifics. I think this is a great tool. It makes it a whole lot easier for sellers. They give you a breakdown on what the screens look like and what you need to click and where in order to find those items. So make sure you check that out if you think that you need to add some item specifics. They also go into a little bit about Terapeak. So Terapeak used to be an off website that eBay was in connection with. I don't know if they own them or not. If you know, leave a comment below. But they're trying to get away from Terapeak specifically as a separate website. So instead, they're integrating Terapeak into eBay. They're still calling it Terapeak, but what it does is it helps you research your items so you can be better fit for what prices, what the titles should be, that type of thing. You can see the selling history for items. So it says here that they continue to integrate Terapeak features and research into Terapeak research insight tools in Seller Hub. So again, Seller Hub, make sure you get attached to the Seller Hub. It surprises me still who doesn't use Seller Hub. And we will deactivate Terapeak.com on March 31st, 2020. So that's really important if you use that offsite. Terapeak uses recent eBay supply, demand, and pricing data to help you determine what to sell, when to sell it, and what to price it at, which is so important if you're doing the selling for an actual profit. If you're not doing this as a hobby, this is really important. Terapeak is available under the Research tab in the Seller Hub and is free to Basic, Premium, Anchor, and Enterprise Store subscribers. You can also use Terapeak to see how specific products and categories are performing across all eBay marketplaces. So I think this is a good thing. Why have to balance between different websites? This will make it so much easier if you can just go straight to your Seller Hub to do the research for your items. Since we introduced Terapeak and Seller Hub, we have added more features that include category selector, type ahead component, not quite sure what that is, or recommends keywords and category suggestions. It's right there. Data visualization for items sold and at price. Data visualization for market share. So if you use Terapeak right now, leave your comments below. What do you think about it? I didn't personally use Terapeak in the past. I typically go off of completed sales. That's how I research my items. But I'm curious how this works. So I'm probably going to use it more now that it's going to be integrated into the eBay website. Starting in March 2020, we will add more features to Terapeak to provide you with additional insights into your business data and that of your competitors. So I think this is great. I don't see how this could be anything negative. New Terapeak features coming in the early spring is unsold listings indexing and sell-through rates, aggregated metrics for active listings, listing report for active listings. New Terapeak features coming in late spring, multi-user account access for Terapeak research, data visualization for active listings. So yeah, so I think that's all good things. And then they do a quick little blurb on a couple of other updates. Some of these I've also talked about in past videos, but new multi-user account access permission for read-only access to orders. So if you have other people that are helping you with your listings, this new multi-user account access is really useful. Also, reminder, increase your sales with volume pricing. All eBay sellers, included eBay store subscribers and non-eBay store subscribers, can now use the advanced listing tool to incentivize buyers to purchase 2 or more identical items at once. So that's kind of cool. So it's basically giving you a discount if you offer something and you want someone to buy multiple items. You want to say hi? Hi. Okay. If you want them to buy multiple items of the same item, they would get a discount. Basically, the more items they buy, the more of the discount. And then also, make sure you check out my other video on this one. Remove backgrounds from your item photos instantly. So eBay has a brand new tool in their photo section that you can upload your photos on your mobile device, both iOS and Android mobile devices. And you can go in and basically erase your backdrops. So make sure you check out my other video on this and what I think about this new tool. So I'm not going to go into a lot of details about that. Make sure that you click the link right here to go see that video. All right, let's move on. Okay, so moving on to the next section, updates to how you ship. So the things you need to know. Ship internationally with eBay International Standard Delivery, FedEx Home Delivery Rate Reduction, and new notification of missing item location zip codes. So what does this all mean? So they have a new International Standard Delivery, our new international shipping service is what it's called. is now available to all U.S. sellers using eBay labels. eBay International Standard Shipping ships to over 210 countries, if I can talk straight, territories around the globe, and is an economical alternative to other international shipping services. So what's nice in this section is they break down the comparison, because when I first started reading this, I thought, well, what's the difference between that and global shipping? So they actually do give a little chart that compares the differences. So the only thing I saw between eBay International Standard Delivery, is what they're calling it, and the global shipping program is they have a line that says custom duties and taxes, and it says that under the International Standard Delivery, delivery duty unpaid, global shipping program, the delivery duty is paid. So I'm not 100% sure what that means. If you do know, please leave a comment below. I think it's going to be lower fees for the buyer, but you possibly have more risk probably versus the global shipping program. So I don't know if you ship it directly to that buyer versus having to ship it to the eBay center, and then the eBay center preps it and ships it out. I think it probably takes out that middleman of eBay, but you'll be able to do more options, I guess, and have more protection by eBay by using this new program. So I don't know. We're gonna have to see how that unfolds because I haven't used it yet. And then they also compare it to if you just ship straight through USPS, which I would not recommend to anybody. And then the other difference is the number of countries that it serves. With this new international standard delivery, it services 213 countries, whereas the global shipping program only services 104. And then it's interesting because it compares it to the USPS and it's the same number of countries. So I don't know. What do you guys think about this? I'm kind of tempted to try it because I think right now I use global shipping program, and I do know some buyers will do that, but a lot of buyers shy away from it because of the fees. So if you live in another country, the fees are higher if you go through the global shipping program because, again, you're using that middleman eBay, so the fees are higher versus just straight shipping it. So I don't know. We'll see. More to come on that. I'm sure I'll do an update video on that later on after I use it. The other quick things they put in here is the FedEx 2-day rate reduction. It's just talking about how that the rates are lower this year than they were in 2019, which is a plus because we all know that USPS went up. So I don't know, FedEx is trying to compete apparently with USPS. I've noticed that on Mercari too. When you go in there, it seems like the FedEx prices are cheaper. So I don't know, and the UPS, so I don't know, Postal Service, you better look out. Also, there's a little quick ditty on, they're gonna give you an alert if you have a missing zip code for your location. I think this more applies to, let's say you have a warehouse in multiple places, making sure the zip code is entered accurately. I only ship from my house, so I don't have to deal with that. But if you are a bigger company and you wanna make sure your zip codes are updated, or eBay will tell you. Okay, so that's it for the shipping section. Next section here is updates to how you promote your inventory. Send more offers to buyers with greater ease and updates to drive higher conversions. So I'm kind of excited about this because, as you all know, eBay recently rolled out offers to buyers, and I didn't get it at first, which was kind of a bummer. I've been using Poshmark this last year a lot more, and I really like that feature because I feel like it gives you more control over communicating with your buyers, or your potential buyers, I should say. People that are watching your items, you want to throw an offer out there, and usually they'll take it if you give them a good offer. So now eBay does that. So now they're expanding that feature. I think they're realizing that there's a huge benefit. And I've used it on eBay, and I've had pretty good luck with it. Leave your comment below. What is your experience with it? But I've liked it so far. So here's some things that they're going to add to it. So new offer to buyer enhancements. The offer to buyer feature in Seller Hub enables you to initiate a negotiation process with the buyers who show interest in your items but haven't yet completed their transaction. A counter offer option lets you and a buyer negotiate an offer by exchanging up to 5 offers or counter offers for each negotiation. I really like this idea, which is exactly what Poshmark does. Around 30% or more watchers turn into buyers when they receive an offer from a seller. So I thought that was cool data that they gave us there. Last fall, we announced that you could reach up to 10 buyers with an offer. Now you can reach 40 buyers. I wish I had that many watchers on my items, but if you do, there you go. You can send out offers to 40. Lower minimum discounts. So currently, the lowest discount you can offer to a potential buyer is 5%. Which is pretty reasonable. It's not even a lot of money usually. But they realize that for items that are higher priced, over $200, 5% may be significant. So each one that's over what they're calling high price, so over $200, you'll see the discount minimum that you're able to give on that specific item. So that's gonna vary, I guess, depending on how expensive the item is. So I think that's pretty reasonable. Allow counter offers on mobile devices. So I have noticed that. I heard about this in the fall, and I thought, I've never had a buyer counter offer, which I expected, because on Poshmark, sometimes it banters back and forth and eBay wasn't getting anything. I guess that hasn't been an option on mobile devices. So now it's going to be. So it says starting in March 2020, you'll be able to allow counter offers from buyers on your mobile device. So thumbs up eBay, I think that's a great idea. And it goes into more detail, I'm not gonna bore you guys. Also, it says how you can see your eligible listings, and it gives you, again, the screenshots on how to do that. So they're really trying to make it as user-friendly as possible, which is good. Moving in the right direction, I think. All right, now we're going to talk about updates to how you service your customers, manage common seller issues with seller help, which is this new thing called seller help, and quickly resolve claims for items not received, items not described, and low average selling price returns. So what they're trying to do here, just to sum it up, it says manage common selling issues with seller help, updates to handling returns and cases, new protections against buyers you previously blocked. Which I thought, well, if you previously blocked them, how could they come back in? But you'll see. So, manage common selling issues in one convenient locations with seller help, which I think this is kind of cool. They used to have the resolution center, which they still do, so I'm not sure how this will differ from that. But it says that you're going to be able to manage your refunds, returns, items not as described, and items not received cases all in one place. You don't have to bounce all over the place. That is one thing about eBay that I've noticed is it's sometimes hard to figure out where you're supposed to go. I mean, they just have too many systems they need to kind of consolidate. So I'm hoping that that's what this is going to do, is it's going to help bring some of those systems together into one screen or one easier accessible place. Submit your request to eBay to receive feedback and defects for removal, which is really good. See your recent policy notifications, including anything that went wrong and what you will need to do to correct an issue, and also report buyers who abuse eBay policies. And then they give you a screenshot of what it's going to look like. You can even go to it and click the button Try It Now to kind of see what it's all about. And then it's going to give you like all these little icons that you can go in there and research and kind of just try it out, I guess, and see what it's like. The next thing is it talks about seller protection for items not received claims filed through eBay money back guarantee. So this is where it gets kind of interesting. Marketplace preferred shipping carriers required. So starting in June of this year, they're going to require for you to use shipping carriers that are integrated with eBay and provide regular shipment scans. Hopefully your post office is scanning your shipments. That's a problem sometimes. We'll also publish a list of recommended eBay integrated carriers that offer tracked services. I always use eBay shipping labels. There hasn't been a time that I haven't. You get a discount in there. The tracking uploads automatically. I don't know why you would do anything different. If you have a different way that you ship, please leave your comments below on why you do that, because I can't figure out why anybody ships off of eBay. It's just so much easier when you do it right there on eBay. In addition, we may decide a case in a buyer's favor without requiring the buyer to contact eBay if tracking that provides shipment of the item was not provided by the seller within 3 days after an item not received case was open. Check your messages, people. If eBay contacts you, make sure you're checking them, because this is basically saying if you don't upload that shipping or the tracking for the shipping in 3 days, they're just going to close the case and give the buyer back their money without them having to return the item. So make sure you stay updated, guys. We recommend you upload the tracking to eBay within your stated handling time. That's the best. Buyers are more confident their orders will arrive when they receive regular updates and shipping status, and are less likely to file item not received claims when not received by the estimated date. Sometimes things happen, but at least if you have the tracking information there, your buyers stay informed. Also, changes to handling return requests that appear abandoned. So I thought this was interesting too. So listen. Starting April 1st, 2020, we will no longer close returns early at the request of a seller when the buyer has not shipped the item back. So sometimes, here it is a few weeks after a buyer might open a return and you haven't gotten the item back. No tracking. I've had this. I've experienced this. Now, eBay's saying they're not going to close those cases. They want to give the buyers enough time to ship their items back. Instead, we will wait to ensure buyers have sufficient time to provide proof items they requested to return were shipped back. If we do not receive proof of shipment from your buyers while the return requests are active, we will protect you by removing any negative or neutral feedback left on that transaction. But they don't say what that time frame is, so that worries me a little bit. I'm hoping they clarify that a little more, because yes, you could offer a 30-day free returns or regular returns, but how long does that buyer now have to return it to you? So I have a little bit of a problem with that, eBay. What do you guys think? Maybe there's more to that you know. So let me know down below if you do know more information on that. Little concern. Changes to handling item not as described return requests from all sellers. So eBay money back guarantee requires sellers to respond within 3 business days. So again, pay attention when buyers request to return items that don't match listing descriptions. When you do not respond, we may refund the buyer and seek reimbursements from you without requiring the buyer to ship the item back. So 3 days, guys, make sure you're checking your messages from eBay. Starting June 1st, 2020, we may decide these cases after 3 business days elapse without requiring the buyer to contact eBay. So they may just automatically close these things if they don't hear from you guys. So don't complain about this, guys. Stay informed. Make sure you watch your messages. And then it goes into a little ditty about international sellers, so I'm not going to go into all of that. New protections against buyers you previously blocked. So this is basically saying, in summary, if you block a buyer because of whatever misuse, you don't want to sell to this person, and let's say that buyer goes, closes their account, reopens a new account, but has the same name, same address, you as a seller are protected if they try to buy your items again. I think this is weird and random, but maybe if someone trying to sabotage you, I'm not quite sure. But you will then have the right to basically contact eBay. You can cancel the orders and not have any repercussions against your account for canceling the orders and blocking that buyer again. So I think that's good. Apparently it happens. It hasn't happened to me, knock on wood. But again, something in the favor of the seller, I think, to help protect us from those abusive buyers. So that's a good update. And then the last section here is updates to how you manage your financials. So as we all know, eBay has been pulling away from PayPal and they've been doing managed payments. I have not done managed payments yet. I've really been hesitant to start it because I wanted to make sure they worked all their glitches out before I jumped in. So I'm still a PayPal user. Leave your comments below. Are you a PayPal user or are you a managed payment user? I would love to know. So the time is coming where everybody's going to have to get integrated. So that's basically what this is warning you about, is that this future year, they're going to slowly start opening more markets, more locations to do the managed payments. So I'm going to try to summarize this pretty quickly because that's basically what it is. It says new features when eBay manages your payments and continued global expansion. So right now, managed payment does credit, debit, gift cards, Apple Pay, Google Pay, PayPal, and PayPal Credit. And then this just talks about how it's going to have a simpler seller protection, basically 1 monthly bill for all your fees. You can set up how you want to be paid. You put your bank account in. It talks about how you can decide if you want a daily amount as it's available, a weekly amount as it's available. One good thing I did read in here is that you'll be able to use your funds in the managed payment account to buy your shipping labels. I think that's been an issue, whereas everybody knows with PayPal, if it's linked, you can just automatically do it. It bills your PayPal. You don't have to worry about having money in your account, whereas this, I would think as long as you have money in there, it will pull from that, which is great. Also, you have to think about your fees. I don't know how that works with managed payment, whether they bill your bank account, whether you have to go in and pay it. I'm not really quite sure how all that works. Sorry, I'm not the expert at managed payments yet because I don't use it. It does say new features for sellers that use the managed payment would be 1099s. You can download your Form 1099K tax report directly from the seller hub. And again, I talked about the scheduled payouts. You can make alternate scheduled payouts. Global shipping program sellers whom eBay managed payments will be able to ship internationally with the global shipping program. So apparently maybe that wasn't available and now it will be. And new ways to pay for shipping labels, just talked about that. Managed payment continues to expand to additional markets. So here you go. So it says, last fall we introduced these new payment features and we are going to be rolling this out to most sellers in 2020. So just be prepared, it's gonna happen. Sellers who are using eBay features and tools that are fully compatible with managed payments will be required to join in phases throughout this year. So welcome to managed payments. You will be able to join in a few simple steps by verifying your identity and business, agreeing to payment terms of use, and adding a checking account so that you can get paid. So, it is what it is. Wait for the announcement. Let's see here. Then it also gives you some other links. I didn't open these, but you have different links here to go into like the question and answers. Is there anything you need to do right now? What do buyers experience with managed payments, et cetera, et cetera. So if you want to go in and inform yourself a little bit more, which is what I'll probably be doing after this video, to kind of figure this out throughout the year. I don't want to be surprised. Never be surprised in your business if you can help it. And then another note that they put in here, I think the last thing here is just talking about the PayPal working capital. I just recently heard about this, so it's kind of a moot point now, but I guess if you have enough income coming into your PayPal, you can do a working capital loan. I'm not gonna get into that, but PayPal basically relies on the income they're receiving from your eBay business or whatever business coming into PayPal to approve you for a working capital loan. And then you pay it back through PayPal. So people are asking, what do you do if you have managed payments? Like, it's not going through PayPal. So it might change a working capital loan if that's something that you utilize. So make sure you look into that and read your facts. That's all I got. I'm sorry that was so much information. I really thought this was only going to take 10 minutes, but it was way more meat than I expected. But please share your comments below. I would love to hear what you think. Also, make sure you ask your questions. I will try to get you, or at least point you in the right direction to answer your questions. Make sure you like the videos, guys, and make sure you subscribe to the channel so you can see more like this. All right, guys, until next time, happy thrifting.